years in the future, 2051, aliens have invaded Earth and they're winning. But thankfully, we have Chris Pratt to save the day. The general premise of this movie is pretty simple and straightforward. So 30 years in the future from when the film starts, which is 2021-ish, 2022, aliens end up having a global war with humans. Humans are losing, so in desperation, they create time travel and they go back 30 years, start recruiting people to jump forward and fight in their war and try to take the aliens out. And if you're thinking, wow, Rawrist, that probably created a lot of timeline and just paradoxes in general. Yeah, you're right. The thing about time travel movies is you can't look at them too closely, otherwise everything just fucking falls apart. And I loved this movie, seriously. It was such a good movie to stream in my house where I could pause it anytime I wanted, go to the bathroom, pet my cats, be away from diseased humans. It just was glorious. Plus, I'm a sucker for sci-fi and time travel and aliens. Although I do get scared easily. If you like scary aliens, this movie has scary aliens. If you like violence, this movie has a lot of violence. If you like time travel, well, I mean, there's not a lot of time travel besides the jump forward and back. It's not like they're jumping around on a timeline, so that might be a bit disappointing for you, but it's still a cool premise. Now, is some of the CGI bad? Yeah. Is Chris Pratt not as charming as he usually is? Sure. Are there a shit ton of plot holes with time travel in this movie? Yep. But my god, what a fun movie to watch, and I think because it pivots a couple times, it made it seem like it went by so fast. Also, I will warn you, when you think the movie is likely coming to a close, you got about 40 more minutes. Now, if you didn't like this film and you're watching this and you're going, Rawrist, you dumb elderly bitch, what are you talking about? One, the critics are on your side. Critics seem to hate this movie. So you're completely fine. You're most likely, you know, more right than me, though I feel like when it comes to liking things, you can't really be more right or wrong. Also, if you want another thing to justify me being wrong about this movie being good, I like the first Suicide Squad movie, so you just can't trust me. So before I go into spoilers, watch this movie. You can stream it on Amazon Prime for free if you have Amazon Prime. If you don't have Amazon Prime, it's probably like, what, less than $20? Although you can sign up for Amazon Prime for a month for free and watch it and then, you know, unsubscribe. That would be a little bit shitty, but you know, money's tight. And I'm not sponsored by Amazon or Amazon Prime or any companies owned by them, by the way. Legally, I would have to tell you that. I can't just accept money from them and then talk up their movie. However, they did send me an email wanting me to do a watch party, which I decided not to do because I was like, well, what if I hate this movie? I don't want to do a watch party and then, you know, do a glowing review. And now I'm really regretting it because I really like the movie. And I don't have the money now. Fuck! Okay, I give this movie 8 out of 10 T-Rexes. If you're wondering why T-Rexes, it just seems to trigger some people, and I don't know, I feel like if you get triggered by that, maybe you need to be poked a little bit more to desensitize you. So, I'm going to talk about spoilers now. Like the video, subscribe, come back for more sci-fi fantasy videos, and yeah, spoilers. Run. So they recruit people from 30 years in the past that die before the alien invasion begins, which is pretty smart because I was thinking before the movie even started, okay, aren't you taking people from your own war or people that would be fighting in your war? But no, these people are dead before it even starts, so they were never part of the war. But also, what are we assuming here? Are we assuming timeline is just a straight thing? Or are we assuming multiple timelines and branches and multiverse and stuff? Because if it's a straight line, with what happened, Chris Pratt should have went back in time, and when he went to the alien ship to destroy the aliens, they should have been the reason why they escaped, and he was the one that started the cycle. So I have to believe that this isn't just a single timeline, and basically it's little branches off, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I do wonder if the intelligent alien crew of the ship who were taking the White Claws, the monsters that ravaged Earth, and then they died on a crash impact. If they were heading to Earth to unleash those creatures to destroy Earth, or if it was just an accident, they were flying by and they accidentally crashed on Earth. Either way, it's pretty smart. You're an intelligent alien species, you breed these super aggressive killer monsters, you dump them on a planet, you wait for them to just kill all life on that planet, and then you come on and take your resources from it or decide to settle on it or whatnot. So, I mean, fantastic plan, guys. Why would you waste your own species when you can just send mindless animals to do the job for you? Anybody that's a vegan or a PETA, don't come at me. I'm a fragile elderly woman. Which is what I thought they did in A Quiet Place. I thought maybe those aliens that drop down, because they're kind of mindless and they just kill, that they were sent by a much smarter alien species to wipe the Earth clean, and then they come in. But yeah, back to the multiverse thing. Did Dan erase the timeline of his daughter that he jumped to? Is that timeline erased, or are we looking more at forks? So it went this way, and then that timeline has humanity getting wiped out, but then Dan creates a new branch where he ends up saving humanity, and they don't have that disaster. I don't know, and I would be interested to see if he just straight up erased that future, or if it's just different paths and forking. That would actually create a lot of different timelines if you think about it, and be an absolute shit show. Which I'm gonna stop talking about this because I just know there's so many plot holes and I could probably talk for an hour about them. I think they did a good job with most plot holes though, such as, okay, we put two rafts in a river, we can't move them, but they are moving. The river is moving them down, so that's why we can't jump earlier and develop technology or recruit more people from different decades to fight these aliens. So I thought they did a good job trying to cover a lot of their bases. It's just with time travel, you really can't cover all of them. The time jump with Dan was absolutely hilarious. When the calibration was off and they sent the big group of people into the future, and instead they started falling from the sky and just splatting. Oh my gosh. I loved it. It's very rare in a movie you get to see actual reigning humans that just end up fucking biting it. But we got this, and we got a lot of it in this movie. I mean, a few minutes of it, but that's a lot to me. What an absolute shit show, and I absolutely loved it. Chris Pratt wasn't as lovable as he usually is, at least to me. Maybe you found him absolutely charming and lovable. Maybe I'm getting tired of his goofy, charming action guy shtick. I don't know, he just didn't do it for me like he usually does in other action movies. But if he did it for you, let me know in the comment section down below. I really don't understand why he ended up separating, divorcing, and abandoning his daughter like his dad abandoned him. I thought for a while what was going to happen was he was going to see his daughter die in the future, and he was going to be so guilty about it, he ends up estranging himself from the family. But that wasn't it. I guess he just becomes a piece of shit, and maybe knowing that he becomes a piece of shit and abandons his daughter, he changes that? Oh, or is it one of those things where he went on an epic adventure and learned lots of lessons about love and friendship, so now he's gonna have a healthier relationship with his family? This movie did, though, have an important lesson about second chances, as my father used to tell me, to not forgive is to destroy a bridge you yourself one day must cross. But I don't like, nor do I trust, bridges. By the way, Dan's dad, played by J.K. Simmons, was disgustingly underused in this movie. Sometimes I forget how talented of an actor he is in his range, and I'm always blown away when I see him in a movie. I'm always like, why are you such a good actor, and why do I always forget how good you are? He killed his role, and he was super believable, and I loved him. Shocked to hell he didn't die. I mean, that was a huge twist. He was set up for the big redeeming sacrifice, but nope, he got to be a grandpa, so wanted to see an old man die. And of course, if Dan didn't forgive him, he would be a huge hypocrite, knowing what he did in the future. The same thing his dad did, so he's kind of was stuck with the whole forgiveness thing. The side characters he made as friends were actually enjoyable, and I I liked following them. It wasn't like super sappy, Dan's the good guy trying to save these people and now they're all buddies and we have these comic reliefs. No, it was pretty tame. And I guess the downside to that is I didn't get attached to any of the side characters. It was just kind of when they died, but that's good for me because I don't like to be sad. I feel so bad for Dorian, who is probably the best side character. He is the guy that had cancer and was going on the multiple tours, the jumps to the future, because he wanted to die on his own terms. He probably every time he jumped to the future was like, fuck, why can't I die? But super kudos to him for having cancer and having months to live and still going out and fighting in a war. The fact that he had the energy or was even healthy enough to do it, super impressive. Though obviously I know this is fiction. I'm happy we didn't deal with the bitter daughter for too long. In Army of the Dead, the daughter was so pissed at the dad for so long, it just was grating. But here, Dan's daughter forgave him pretty quickly. There was a little bit of but she always was more emotional towards him. Something I know that's going to bother people about this movie, there was a jab at climate change. So if you're one of those people that get really upset about that, they only talk about it towards the end and it's only a few lines. So if it bothers you, it's not brought up too much. Though, and not to scare you, with the melting of ice in, those remote locations, we are unleashing viruses and bacteria, ancient ones, and they're probably gonna kill us at some point. Yeah, I liked this movie. I thought it was a great sci-fi time travel action film. I'm happy pretty much with the pace. The plot, the plot holes are whatever. But if you hated this movie, what else were you gonna do with 2 hours? We're all just counting down to death. So like, subscribe, and let me know if you loved the sky people splattering as much as I did.